For the first time in our rebuild, the Pirates have made the playoffs. And the team we will be facing off for our first playoff series will be the New York Mets, who defeated the Phillies in the wild card round to face us here. The best player on their roster is Juan Soto, who for some reason at age 29 is going through some major downgrades to his ratings. But we all know how great of an offensive player Juan Soto is. He'll be a challenge for us. They have Sandy here as their ace pitcher at age 32, up to a 90 overall. Pitched pretty solidly for the Marlins this year. And they also have Francisco Alvarez, who at age 26 has really become a very good player for New York here. Two-way player at that as well at the catcher spot. Really good defense, can really hit as well. Francisco Lindor is still on this team, of course. He's also regressing at this point, which I guess makes sense at age 34. Brandon Nimmo will be injured. He might come back at some point here in the series, though. Not a very serious injury here. In terms of their rotation, they have kind of a top two with Jack Flaherty as well on the team. Both guys that they've signed in free agency as their top pitching options here. Then there's a mix of guys here kind of in the low 80s. Kodai Senga. Pitched pretty solid ERA-wise, but the whip was a little high this year. You have John Means, another lefty for this rotation. He pitched pretty well at age 34. And then you have Brandon Sproat, who this was his first year. It looks like, I don't even know if he's on their playoff roster, but he only pitched 22 innings this year, and he did pretty well in them. I guess we can't look at recent games, so I guess we can't see if he's been in their starting rotation. They only have 5 starters, though, on the MLB team, so he must be somebody that we'll be facing off against in this series. Bullpen-wise, they have Alexis Diaz here. They have Jeff Hoffman. They have Jose Butto and Kevin Ginkel. So they have a decent bullpen. They don't have any superstars, but they also don't have like guys in the 60s or anything like that. And then we've previewed a lot of their offense, but they've got a lot of good offensive players across the board. Luis Angel Acuna here, one of those players. So this is going to be not the easiest of matchups. I think you can look at this team and say that the Pirates are better, but this is going to be no easy task. Especially this is a team in the Mets that is a lot more experienced age-wise, and that can always come to play in the playoffs, of course. As for the Pirates team, we, of course, will be without Jazz Chisholm at the start of this series and likely throughout the series, as he still has 2 to 3 weeks on that broken shin. So he's going to be somebody that doesn't really have a shot at playing in this series, but if we can continue on in the playoffs, he'll be able to join the team later on. But we have to get past this Mets team without him, which will be no easy task. He's been one of our 2 or 3 best hitters since he's been a Pirate. Now it's time to talk about how I want to present the playoffs, and I think setting these custom game entries is going to be the way to do it. We'll enter the game as soon as the first inning. Have no problems there, and I think right between the low and medium is about where I want to be. Now, last year I kind of set these up manually. I would just enter the quick sim, and whenever there was a situation I thought was worth hopping in, I'd go in myself. But I think this setting might actually make it a little bit easier for me, because this is more or less the kind of scenario here, this example. Game is tied. We got a couple runners on base, no outs. That's the kind of scenario that I would want to hop in if I was doing it the way I did last year. This way we can get through a lot of gameplay in an episode, which is important for playoffs. I don't like simming a lot in the playoffs, but if we watch full games every single game, it's going to take us forever to get through the playoffs. So this is about kind of that perfect compromise that I think allows us to still watch a lot of the playoffs, but actually get through them in a timely manner that won't take me like a month in real time to get through a full playoff run should we make the World Series, which I don't know if that's going to be the case for us this year, but eventually it will be. And so this is the kind of a scenario that I think is best for us for the time being. And we can always, of course, tweak it if we're getting too many scenarios or not enough scenarios as we go forward. With that being said, we are ready for game one. And let's try out our new settings here in game one. We're all the way into the fourth inning right now. The Pirates already have put a couple runs aboard. Brian Reynolds with a home run as well. Let's see what Paul Skenes can do, trying to keep the Mets off the board here at the beginning of this game. New York has Ryan Clifford at the plate here, of course, not going to actually pitch as Paul Skenes. Man on first and second. No outs yet here in the inning. This is definitely a rough spot here for Paul. As for the pitching order in the playoffs, I tried to look some stuff up as to what the best way to go about it is. And ultimately, I just decided that we're going to keep Paul Skenes as our game one starting pitcher here. He can come back, if there's a crucial game 4 or game 5. I think he'll have enough energy. By a game 5, he could have full energy back as he gets the strikeout high heat, getting Clifford to swing. He'd have full energy, and if we need him for a crucial game 4, he'd have like over 90% energy. So he maybe wouldn't be able to go 6 innings, but that's just what I saw, just in a little bit of research and how you should be setting up the pitching for playoff series. If there's a different method I should be using, I'm all ears. But the one thing that we will be doing for the playoffs is we will be shortening our rotation to a 4-man rotation at the most. And in some cases, like I said, if there's a crucial game 4, we might even bring Paul Skenes back for it. Already 7 strikeouts on the board for Paul Skenes as well, which is awesome to see. Back-to-back here after allowing base runners. Now we're just an out away, going against the 9-hitter in Ronnie Mauricio. Pitch number 50 in there for strike 1. A lot of those yellow towels waving here for Pittsburgh. The crowd is excited to have playoff action back in PNC Park. And Paul Skenes gets out of a jam here in the 4th. Mets have 5 hits aboard, but no runs allowed yet. Meanwhile, the Pirates, both their hits have come across. Let's try and find the next area to hop into this game. And whoa, it's over. What? I was certainly expecting more than one situation to hop in with these kind of settings, but it looks like this was a pretty big deficit. Wasn't a very close game at all, which is probably why we only got to see one. Yeah, 12-2, 18 hits on the board. Not a very close game. Hopefully this is more of a rarity. He scored 9 runs in the 7th inning alone in this game. After game 1, I would end up dropping down my importance like a couple notches more close to the low than the medium to try and avoid games like this where we would only get 1 situation to hop in. Even though, like I said, this was not a close game at all. So I get why there weren't a lot of, high leverage situations in a 12-2 ball game. Still like to see more than one instance. Got a 2 home run day from Billy Fink in his first ever playoff game. You love to see it. I wish I could have seen it. But 3 for 5 total from Fink. He ends up being the player of the game. Hopping into game 2 here. Like I said, I did adjust the settings a little bit. Made the situation importance a little lower. And now we're hopping in here to the second inning with Mitch Keller on the mound for game 2. Pirates trying to build on their game 1 victory here. There's already another run aboard. And I can tell you it's a Billy Fink home run. Already 3 home runs in the postseason for our boy. Alvarez makes it 2 runners aboard here, no outs. Can Keller get rid of them like we saw Skenes do last game? Popped up behind the plate for Jan to easily handle it. Now 1 gone. Need to get an out here against Francisco Lindor all the way down to the 8th spot in his age 34 season. Pops one up for Victor Robles, and we get the 2 crucial outs. 1 more needed here to keep the Mets off the board. Pitch is in. It's popped up by Mauricio. Joe Adell will find it in the outfield. And once again, our pitcher's doing a good job of getting out of a bit of a bind here. Score will remain 1-0 here as we get to the bottom of the second. We'll hop into that second now as there's 2 aboard for Pittsburgh. Peguero to the plate, and he swipes out a circle change. Left up in the zone. We're going against the Mets ace here in this game too. Joe Adell lifts it into left field, but now we're back-to-back outs at risk of stranding some runners on base ourselves. Unless we can get a hit from Jared Triolo. He was awesome in the last episode. And he carries some of that momentum into the playoffs. That's going to be down for a hit. The throw from Gilbert is in, but not in time. An RBI single from Jared Triolo makes it 2-0 in favor of the Pirates. Top of the order back up. Billy Fink, 3 home runs. Was hoping for number 4 there, but instead we'll get a ground out here to end the inning.
Ball, 1 strike.
Bottom third now. Game is now tied. Runner on first. Reynolds, no, that's going to be a 5-4-3 double play. Hit it right to third base. Made it easy on him. Reynolds clears the base pass here, and now 2 gone. Greatly diminishing our chances at getting back on top here in the 3rd inning. Albert Sweeney now up to the plate for us. He's 2 for 5 so far in this divisional round. Sandy up over 40 pitches now here on the day. And gets ahead of Sweeney here 0-2 early. This pitch is left over the middle for Alberts. He cranks it deep, and it is going to be an extra base hit here with 2 outs for Albert Sweeney. Couldn't quite get it to leave the park, but a great hit nonetheless, and a mistake by Sandy and an 0-2 count. Horwitz up next. That's going to be a wild pitch, but nice job by Francisco Alvarez to find it and get Albert Sweeney trying to reach third. Score will remain 2 apiece. 6 hits for the Pirates, 3 for New York. Keller has a couple runners on base, 2 outs here, and Drew Gilbert with a soft hit to left field will end the inning, but the Mets have now taken the lead 3-2. Can we get some offense here from the Pirates? Not going to be from Peguero. Of course, wouldn't be playing without the injury to Jazz Chisholm. You could really use some Jazz Chisholm level offense right now. Joe Adell hits one into the outfield, but way too much underneath it. That's going to end the fourth. The Mets still lead by a run here. Getting to our next situation here. And once again, the game is now over. So the last situation we hopped into was the fourth inning for the second straight ball game. What is going on with this series? Is there just no high leverage situations at all in the end of these ball games? This one will end up being 2-6 loss to New York here. I get that's not particularly close, but did we never even get a runner on base after like the sixth inning or something? That's kind of crazy to me, but the offense, no runs after the second inning, certainly not as good as we need it to be here as the Mets tie this series up, splitting the games here in PNC Park before we now head to New York to play on the road. Here's your post-game screen here. Hopping in to the top of the first here right away for Albert Sweeney. We got men on first and second with one gone here. He's behind 0-2 to Jack Flaherty. This is tapped over to short. Not going to be a double play, but it will be a second out here. So it comes down to Spencer Horwitz to try to get some runs aboard for Pittsburgh. Popped up. Unfortunately, over to third, foul territory. Easily handled. And we're out of the inning. Had a chance to get some scoring going early, but could not get it done. Instead, it's the Mets who will get some early scoring. They've got two early runs on Jared Jones, Albert Sweeney. Once again with a chance to put some runs on the board for Pittsburgh, striking out. This time we're getting runners on base. We're just not doing a good job of getting them across home plate so far. It's now a tie game here, top of the sixth. Offense still gonna be the thing to watch here, but another double play here. 6-4-3 this time around. Horwitz. Now what you're looking for here with a man on first. Second time we've watched a double play. I don't even know if it's happened even more than that. So all of a sudden the base paths are clear and David Yan trying to keep the inning alive. 2-2 pitch is a beautiful sinker inside. I can't blame David Young for looking at that one, honestly, but that was just a great pitch. Now we get to Jared Jones. He's going against Juan Soto, the best hitter in the Mets lineup. It's Gilbert. We'll get into scoring position. The Mets trying to take a lead here. Very dangerous hitter. Hitting .437 these playoffs so far. Also has a hit already in this game against Jared. 67 pitches now. 1-1 for 68. It is cracked to center field by Juan Soto. No doubt about it, it is gone, and the Mets have taken the lead here in the bottom of the sixth. You can't leave Juan Soto anything easy over the plate because you are liable to get burned. The Mets looking to take a 2-1 series lead here at home. And Juan Soto looking to help them out in that endeavor. First time we've faced off against him so far, at least in the critical situations portion. And he makes us pay in a major way. James Waylock would then replace Jared Jones following that home run allowed. Change up low. He starts his day allowing a walk. That's going to bring up Jesus Sanchez. He's 0 for 1 here today. He gets a hold of a pitch. The second 2-run blast of the inning by the Mets. Things are not looking good here for our Pirates unless the offense can wake up. Maybe this inning will actually encourage them to wake up a bit. As the Mets now extend their lead to 4 runs, 6-2. The score here, and the inning's not yet over. We don't even have an out yet in this inning. Alvarez bounces it over to Triolo, who's playing third for us in the absence of Jazz Chisholm. Ryan Clifford gets a pitch decently hittable, but underneath it for a fly out to Joe Adell. That brings up Lindor. That's a nice changeup low in the zone. And that's going to finally get us out of the 6th inning here. But the offense needs to wake up. We have a solo homer, an RBI single. That's the only thing we have to our name. But that's actually going to be the end of the ballgame as we end up losing 2-10. The offense, in fact, did not wake up at all. Ended up getting through these first 3 games here using these critical situations a little bit faster than I thought we would. But on the one hand, you know, these were not very close games. Game 2 wasn't particularly a blowout, and I wish we would have watched more of that game down the stretch. But games 1 and 3, I mean, we're talking about some domination, and you don't love the way this is going, as the Pirates are now facing elimination, and the offense, after scoring 12 runs in Game 1, haven't been able to top 2 runs in the 2 games to follow. The bright side of maybe not being able to watch all that much in the first 3 games is we can watch this elimination Game 4 much more closely here. The Pirates season is now on the line after being one of the best teams in all of baseball. That's just kind of sometimes the way the playoffs go. You get some time off. The other team just won a series, so they're feeling good about themselves. And now you're a game away from being eliminated. Still on the road here. We'll be going up against Kodai Senga on the mound for the Mets. And one thing I had mentioned, if there was a crucial Game 4, Skenes would be the guy that we would turn back to here. He wouldn't have full energy, and he doesn't. It's almost full. It's got to be somewhere in the 90% where his energy is. And I'd rather have, at this point of a series, a Paul Skenes with 90% energy than Jesus Luzardo and his questionable pitching clutch at 100%. So we're turning into a 3-man rotation here in this series against the Mets. Can the offense come back alive and show us what they showed us back in Game 1? Billy Fink, the leadoff man, will ground out to start this one off. That'll bring up Victor Robles. His order in the lineup got shot up with that Jazz Chisholm injury after a really strong season, hitting more in the middle of our lineup. Reynolds, career year this year. We'll get a leadoff walk here. So we get a man on base with 2 outs. Albert Sweeney trying to keep the inning alive, but he pops it up to right field. Sanchez settles underneath. Nothing doing for the Pittsburgh offense here in the first inning. Paul Skenes in Game 1, 7 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, no runs allowed, and a 1 whip. He was awesome in Game 1. The only time this team has looked awesome so far in this series. Hoping for another great performance from Paul here in Game 4. We need it. Brandon Nimmo leading off for the Mets. Lazy fly over to Joe Adell in center. That'll bring up Drew Gilbert. He's been pretty good so far in this NLDS. He cracks one deep to right field. Robles giving chase, but it's over the wall, and it is gone. The third postseason home run for Drew Gilbert. And the Mets strike first, trying to win their third straight and advance to the championship series. Likely going to be against the Dodgers. Whoever wins, eventually wins this best of 5 matchup here. The Mets are the early team to apply the pressure here. Just right over the middle of the plate. Not something you'd expect from Paul Skenes here on an 0-0 pitch. He gets one by Juan Soto, though, the very next at-bat at 103 miles an hour. About as fast as you're going to see a pitch in this game. Trying to get Vientos to chase high heat. Instead, we'll allow a walk. 0-2 for Sanchez. It's going to get through the infield. Fink tried to make a diving play. Couldn't quite get to it, though. So now there's another runner in scoring position here. Bottom of the first for New York. Did I make a mistake having Skenes pitch here with not full energy? Able to get out of the inning with just the home run allowed. Horwitz up on the offensive side. A diving play made at third by Vientos to get him out. Come on now. I mean, looked like it was going to be a hit down that third baseline, but Vientos makes a great play. Got to give him props. 0-2 for David Yon, who has had a couple of really rough strikeouts in this series where he's looked at a pitch right on the edge of the zone. I mean, what a pitch. There for strike 3 by Kodai Senga. 0-2 again. He's doing a good job getting ahead of these Pirates hitters. And he gets Peguero to chase a pitch way upstairs. Back-to-back punch-outs here to get out of the second. Score remain 1-0 here for Skenes now. Bottom of the second. One out. Lindor floats one over to foul territory where Brian Reynolds loves it. Now ahead 0-2 against Mauricio. That's going to be right over the middle. You can't have that be your 0-2 pitch. What are you doing, Paul? Our 96 overall pitcher is leaving an 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball right over the middle. The second solo shot for New York. Oh, the ball game. Just a couple of really bad mistakes by Paul Skenes. I mean, these aren't like unlikely homers, you know, where they're taking a pitch that's well located and they're just muscling it out. These are just absolute misses by Paul. In spots, especially with an 0-2, you can't be leaving something that much over the plate. The Mets lead it. 2-0 here, heading into the third. Joe Adell, he's going to answer back. The Pirates are aboard. Another solo shot. Please don't tell me it's going to be one of those games where the only kind of scoring we ever get is solo homers. That's all we've gotten so far. But Joe Adell, hopefully that can bring this Pirates offense alive. 404 feet on that blast and 110 off the bat. Knew it from the second it hit the bat that one was leaving the yard. 2-2 pitch. Billy Fink back up, and he's swinging at the 97-mile-an-hour fastball above the zone. Robles in on the hands, and he just floats it over to Mauricio, and we'll have to settle for just the one. Skenes has Drew Gilbert down 0-2. Reynolds has to run it down, but he does get there in time to prevent the hit. Up against Soto. He's done a good job getting ahead of Soto so far in this game. Oh my! Painted on that lower inside corner. What a pitch by Paul Skenes. 101 miles an hour as well. That's a thing of beauty right there. Getting down a very difficult hitter. Striking him out twice in this game. I think those are the only 2 strikeouts he has are the 2 against Juan Soto, which is kind of insane considering how good Juan Soto is. Reynolds, he's had some nice discipline so far in the series, drawing himself a couple of walks. Got a man on first, trying to go for second, but a great throw. That was not even close for Brian Reynolds. I mean, it was a little bit closer because he had to pop it up with the glove, but still not all that close. Sweeney, great hit into the left field. Almost a diving play made. That would have been an awesome defensive play. He ends up going for the double. He hit it really hard. I thought it might have been an out for a second, which would have been very unlucky. Instead, he gets an extra base hit. Not seen a lot of those. It's been singles and home runs. Not a lot of doubles and triples here. That one's well hit by Horwitz as well, but that won't get down for a hit. An unlucky job there. That could have easily been an RBI hit. It had just found the gap. 1-2 pitch for Jan. He also hits one deep to right field. And come on, man. Neither of those could find a gap. Unlucky inning there, man. Reynolds got on base, but then was caught stealing. And all those hard hit balls into the outfield, and only one of them gets down. Unlucky stuff. And even if that one had gotten down, if Brian Reynolds hadn't got caught in stealing, we probably would have a 2-2 ball game right now. I mean, Reynolds would have had to play it a little bit safe running the base pass just in case it was caught. But really unfortunate inning. Alvarez over the head of Peguero for a hit. One gone, one on here. Trying to get a double play of our own now. Give them a taste of their own medicine, and we do. So he's allowed a couple of solo blasts, but Paul Skenes, I think, has been the right choice to go to him rather than Luzardo here for Game 4. As he's only allowed a couple of runs here through 4 innings. It's really just got to be the offense has to start waking up, and we have to start hitting better with runners on the base pass. We'll get another opportunity for it here with Joe Adell. Hitting one right back up the middle for a single. One of the few guys that has been productive, really him and Reynolds. Struck well, just right back up the middle. So we've got a 1-out single here. Can we bring him home? Jared Triolo up to the plate, and he'll actually steal into scoring position here. But Triolo is behind 0-2. And he's gonna offer at that sweeper. Well outside the zone. That's the 4th punch out for Senga. Top of the order, Fink. That's not gonna get it done. And once again, we leave a runner stranded. Not hitting well enough with runners in scoring position. And that's going to be a nice curve to get Lindor down swinging. A couple of really nice strikeouts from Paul Skenes in this game. Nimmo back up the middle. It will get by Paul Skenes. Would have been a tough play for him to make. 2-out single for the leadoff man. Drew Gilbert up next. 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Tough not to offer at that one, but we'll have Juan Soto back up. Skenes has had his number in this game, and this time gets him inside on the hands. Infield single. Sorry, infield fly to end the inning. Top of the sixth. Once again, it's a leadoff single to kick off another inning. We've been not doing well enough at all, taking advantage of these. Maybe this can be the exception. Reynolds gets one by Vienta. And now we've got runners on first and second. We can just anything other than a double play here, or maybe a strikeout as well. Great pitch there by Senga to get Sweeney down swinging. That will be the end of the day for Senga, though, as they will bring in a lefty to face off against Horwitz. It's a great call by them. One of the reasons I'm hesitant to have Horwitz playing for us in the playoffs, but with the Jazz Chisholm injury, there really was no choice. And he grounds into a double play, man. It's so... why are we so bad at getting these... stranding these runners on the base paths, man? We just can't help ourselves. Soriano comes into the game to pitch in the sixth, so it will be a 5-inning game from Paul Skenes. Kind of what I expected with his energy, and unfortunately, we get an instant solo homer. Once again, that's the only type of scoring we've gotten in this game. I don't love games that are like this, but it's not like there haven't been runners on scoring position elsewhere. It's just that nobody's ever been able to bring them home. Mostly, of course, talking about the Pirates in this situation. Alvarez up next. He's going to get a single. Might back up the middle with one out here. Soriano has to keep this deficit close here. Billy Fink, flash of the glove, makes the play there for the second out. Now Soriano v. Lindor. That is not a pretty swing by Francisco there, and it'll end the inning for the Mets. Yan up to the plate. That's going to be down for a base hit again. I mean, this is like the same thing every inning. Our leadoff man is doing a good job. Unfortunately, we can't get any base hits because it puts us in this situation where we're vulnerable to the double play, and it just feels like we always do it. We might do it here again. You've got to be kidding me. Oh, just beats out the double play again. But it almost feels automatic at this point. We're going to put somebody on first, and then we're going to get a double play, or close to in this situation. We actually get somebody in scoring position this time. Joe Adell has been one of the few productive players for us offensively here today. That's going to be lifted just a bit too much, though. Figueroa advances to third, but with two outs, it doesn't really matter there. Jared Chiolo, the hero of last episode, also has an RBI single in this one. Just unable to come through for us, man. This is painful to watch. I feel like I'm watching the same inning over and over and over again. Hunter Barco into the game for Pittsburgh in the seventh. Gets the ground out to start the inning. I've had no complaints really with our pitching. We've allowed a few home runs, but we've had strong innings. It's really been the offense that's been super disappointing today. Barco gets a second out here. We'll bring up Drew Gilbert, and a thorn in our side in this series, but out there. Good inning from Hunter Barco. Leadoff man Billy Fink gets full count here. 0 for 3 in this game. We need him to show up. And once again, I mean, not a single this time, but we get the leadoff man on first for yet another inning. Full count again for Victor Robles. And back-to-back walks. Nice discipline here to start off the eighth. Could this be something? We got 99 clutch Brian Reynolds here No. No. You've got to be actually kidding me. Again, dude. Come on. It's really actually annoying at this point. It's automatic, dude. As soon as we have somebody on first, it is an automatic double play. This one wasn't even the same kind of double play because it was a tap. Oh, my goodness. This is so frustrating, man. I'm watching the same inning over and over and over again. How do we keep doing the same damn thing every single time? We have negative clutch on this team. Oh. That was a very bad throw by David Young there. If it was anywhere close, that would have been an easy out. But it was high and away. Jesus Sanchez just looks at that fastball. I don't know if he was expecting something breaking there or what. 2-2 pitch, chops to third, and Triolo gets us out of the inning. Once again, nice job by Waylock, but won't matter at all if our offense keeps playing this poorly, man. I swear, if we get a leadoff single here in the ninth, I'm going to lose my crap. Especially if we actually can't get him across home plate. Kevin Ginkel, he's 2 for 2 so far in the postseason. Spencer Horwitz, the leadoff man here. At least he's not going against the lefty, and you've got to be kidding me. It's another single to lead off another inning. I think that's like the 6th time we've had that in this game. Between a single or a walk to lead off an inning. Jan lifted the center, but Gilbert's hardly going to have to move at all to get this out. At least it's not a double play, but we still have a man on first, so it's in play. 0-0 pitch, Peguero. I mean, he's just not been very good at all. In place of Jazz Chisholm. Not that I was expecting the backup to come in and play that well, but now all of a sudden our season rests in the hands of our free agent acquisition, Joe Adell. He's responsible for the only run we've scored in this ball game, and we need him now more than ever. This pitch is a slider underneath that he offers at. So we're behind 0-2. Things are not looking good, man. We're going to waste yet another leadoff single, aren't we? I mean, I don't even know why it's even a question at this point. We've done, like I said, like 5 innings already in this game. 1-2 pitch. Beneath. Nice patience here from Joe Adell with a 2-strike count. 2-2 is gonna be in for strike 3. They'll say Joe Adell went around, and the Pirates season is over. On such a frustrating game, man. The only runs were solo homers. I already hate that type of game already, but it was even worse than that because we kept getting runners in scoring position and we kept just deucing the bed after that. Negative clutch, double plays all around. An awful, awful, awful way to end the season. My goodness, we don't even win a series. And with that, the Pirates season is officially over. We beat them 12-2 in the first game, and then our offense couldn't score more than 2 runs after that. At 12 in the first game, 2? We couldn't get more than 2. The best offense in baseball this year couldn't get more than 2 in 3 straight games. I mean, Sandy, sure, fine. But like, really? These guys aren't nearly good enough to be doing what they did to our offense. When it comes to who I blame for us being a first-round exit, there's no question. I mean, our pitching did give up 10-1 run game, so even if our offense was good, so you could blame both our offense and our pitching for this loss here, and 6 still isn't that great, but this was 100% on our offense, 110 if it's even possible, and just horrid play in that elimination game, man. At least these games we were spared probably a lot of the worst stuff from our offense. But watching the full game, I was just done by the end of it. We got that leadoff single in the 9th. I didn't care. I knew what was going to happen. There was a 0% chance that guy was going to ever cross home plate because we'd seen it for like how many innings where we got that single and did nothing with it at all. In fact, we made it work against us with these stupid double plays that we couldn't help ourselves but constantly get into. A team that had very little playoff experience, and they showed it here in this series against the Mets. I can't believe how poorly we performed. And the one time we actually won, we only saw like one thing. So we we didn't see much success in this episode at all, unfortunately. But that's going to get us to the offseason. I think we have some decisions to make. I think a lot of our decision-making has to do with our pitching, with, of course, Jared Jones and Mitch Keller, neither of which made a good case for them to be the one that we should keep. Jared Jones was better whip-wise by a ton, but I don't really know what to make of this, if I'm being honest. I don't know why we only had 2 guys pitch for us. Or I guess we also had Barco. But, like, how is Carmen Majinski not getting a single inning? Holderman, I made it that, like, on purpose. I guess Will Vest also got an inning, but there was a small sample size, only 4 games, of course. What to do with Jared Jones and Mitch Keller, what to do with our bullpen if we want to go cheaper there and go young. Let some of our young guys try to work it out, or if we want to try to bring back more of our veterans, namely guys like Will Vest and Jojo Romero, are more of the big questions. I wouldn't mind bringing Jojo Romero back. I don't know if I would want him to be our closer next year, though. If he's like more of a setup man or something, I might be interested in that for sure, because he hasn't pitched poorly by any means in his 2 years in Pittsburgh. So I don't know. I'll have some answers for you, but I need to take a break. I don't even want to edit this video right now, so this will probably be coming out a day later than it normally would, because that game made me mad. But that's all I've got for the episode. Hope, despite the loss, you still enjoyed it, as this team got its first taste of playoff action. We'll be back hungry in year 5, and I'll see you then. Let's go Bucks.